What is up, everybody? Today we have a tick-inferno deck from Barold. This deck is very, very similar to the Volumes Chuggy tick deck, which looks like this, I think. This is the Volumes Chuggy tick deck, which I think is like not that well positioned in this metagame, sadly, but was quite good for a while. The differences, of course, are we have Inferno instead of Phantom. So we're much weaker to heavy air, like really, really bad against heavy air. I think something like an Orca is going to be an absolute beating for us. Enemy Infernos also going to be kind of difficult to beat. Really, any heavy air is going to be tough to beat. And we don't have Obelisk either. So we don't actually need the Obelisk with the Inferno. Because the reason the deck originally played Obelisk is because you're bad against Predator Tank. And Obelisk helps with that quite a lot. But with Inferno, then we can beat the Obelisks. We can beat the Predator Tanks with the Infernos, so we don't necessarily need a Cane to do that. So I think Oksana makes sense, especially for playing Inferno. Like, Inferno is like a million times better with Obelisk. There's also, I mean, this deck is very similar to any tank Inferno deck. Like, this is a kind of deck you would have seen back in the day, which would be like a tank Inferno deck. Except that, of course, we have Tick instead of Scorpion, and we are just kind of giving up the heavy air matchups. So, yeah, heavy air units are going to be a beating. I think Razorback as well. Razorback is also going to be incredibly hard to beat. We have Chuggy, though, which helps a lot, because then you don't just lose to Razorback Missile. But, like, Razorback Gren would be really tough to beat. Anyway, let's get on with it. I do think, as long as we don't play against too much like heavy air, we should be fine. It'll probably be a decent deck, unless we play against that. So we're playing against Enswaggles, who is playing Seth, which is pretty unusual. You don't see Seth that much these days. Who will protect Inferno? Bite lasers enough. Yes, yeah, that's fine. As long as your opponent doesn't have like Phantom or Hammerhead, then it's fine to just play like Inferno Laser. If they have a Phantom or a Hammerhead, then it's a really big problem. Because you need, what am I trying to say here? You need Stealth Tank to kill those things instantly to protect your Inferno properly. So yeah, like Hammerhead and Phantom are going to be a problem. Although we can just like switch to ground-based game plan against those. Ensorga opened laser against me because the last game I was playing tank with wheel opening, but I had Cane in that deck, so you should have seen from the changing commander. But I wasn't necessarily going to be the same deck. I'm hoping he doesn't have Chemical Buggy, because a Chemical Buggy switch right now would probably win him the missile. I don't think I can switch to Chemical Buggy. I don't think I have time. Looks like I'm just going to win the missile with Rifle. It's going to be close. Yeah, just about. Super close to a flip there, though. Venom feels like not that big a problem for me. It's obviously annoying not to have a unit that one-shots Venom in a Venom matchup, but you can use Bikes, it's fine. And we'll take this opportunity to try and get a Tick Tank in position. The thing that I would really struggle with here is a Shade. If he has Shade, that's going to be very bad for me. So we're hoping for no Shade. He does have Venom, so Shade is definitely a possibility. Oh, there it is. Rip. That's very bad for us. We don't have a good answer to a Shade. We have to just use Laser and Bite, which is not good. Most Nod decks will play Phantom or Stealth Tank because it's really important to have a heavy anti-air unit as Nod. It's really unusual to see people just play like Bite Laser. I think Pitbull Missile you'll see quite often, but just Bite Laser is super strange. Specifically because of scenarios like this. We're going to boost this over here, I guess. I don't actually know what to do with this thing. I guess we have to put it down here, which sucks because of the Venom. He's just going to play fully air game plan against me, and I don't actually have an answer. Because we don't have the heavy anti-air that we need. So yeah, I'm a little worried about this one. Maybe we can just win with this Bite. He isn't responding to the Bite quickly enough. We might just win with the Bite. Yep, he didn't respond to the Bite in time. GG. That was going to get bad, though. The longer that went on, that was going to get really bad. Like, if that game went on longer, we were in a lot of trouble. It's just tough, man. It's tough with no Stealth Tank or Phantom. It's difficult. All right, so Ensorga's changed deck. See what he switched to. I hope it doesn't have Inferno. Inferno is going to be a beating. He's probably playing Chuggy Inferno, though, given that he's Oksana deck. Well, I find that in the... If it is a chuggy mirror, I find that going chuggy early is pretty good. And then you just spam bikes. If your opponent doesn't have their own chuggy, then you want to make laser. But if they have chemical buggy, then you need to make bikes. Otherwise the lasers are just a liability. He might have tank, given how long it's taking him to make something. But it's just gone straight into shade. Okay. Is it just the same deck but with Oksana? Feels weird, man. I was really hoping I wouldn't lose the chuggy there. I was reasonably certain I'd get the missile, but I didn't think I'd lose the chuggy. Thought I could get it out again in time. This kind of sucks for me again, because the shade. Maybe we can just... No, if he has the venom, we can't just play chuggy laser. Now he has the venom again. That's annoying. This is just going to be a really hard matchup again. And this time he knows what we're playing, so we don't even have, like... Last time we got, like, some additional time out of the fact that he didn't know what we were playing. So he, like, wasn't expecting the tick tank. He didn't switch into air super quickly. Now that he knows what we're playing, he knows we're super weak to the air, he's just gone right into air. Like, he literally went shade immediately. Which is bad for us. Because that is the hardest thing for us to beat. Him just making shades and venoms is really tough for us to win against. This is one of the issues that happens when you play against the same person over and over. Once they know your deck, like especially when your deck has a weakness, like a big weakness like this one does, once your opponent knows the deck and they know the weakness, they just exploit it. It happens a lot in events as well, like when I'm doing challenge decks in events, my opponent will I'll play against the same person twice and I'll manage to beat them the first time. And then second time they just know my deck, so they'll bring a counter. It's not like unwinnable, I'm not suggesting that by any means. This is a tough matchup, but it's not an auto lose by any means. Oh, we got the air block! Let's go! We blocked the air with the chuggy. Insane. Look how bad this was getting, by the way. He had Venom against Laser, Venom against nothing, Shade against Chuggy if that game had continued for like half a second. Affirmative! I like this guy's name.
3, 2, 1. New objective available.
I forgot what deck I'm playing. It's like the tick-inferno deck, right? I don't think I've made an Inferno yet. You like making fat stacks? I feel the same way, Mud. I could go laser against Buggy. I should have gone laser. It's too late now, but I think I should have gone laser. I really just want to go tank, but that takes forever. Maybe I'll just go tank. Tank is the best unit against Buggy. Now, let's see if he has a tank. If he opens Buggy, he probably has Buggy tank. He just straight into Banshee. Okay, well that increases our chances of winning dramatically because Banshee is garbage tier. He does have tank. Interesting. I'm surprised he went Banshee then. Let's get our tick burrowed because you don't want to fight with a moving tick. Shit, we're gonna take a second hit. Oh, thank God it burrowed in time. That would have been really bad if we'd taken a second normal hit there. We're going to try and get a tick burrowed on each one. He's going Venom against my tick. Interesting. I would have expected a Banshee there. Another Venom. This is when it's really nice to have a unit that can one-shot a Venom. Like a Phantom or a Stealth tank. The thing is, like, the tick is so good on the ground, it's just really unusual not to have something that shuts down air when playing a tick tank. Because the tick tank dominates the ground battle normally. Like you can see, I can't really move my ticks in, they're not very mobile. But also, he can't move into my tick, because it's too strong. So I have this like massive stonewall unit. Funny because we're on the map stonewall as well, pun intended. We have this like big stonewall unit that doesn't actually stonewall very effectively. Because I don't have a way to shut down the air from taking over. So yeah, it's just a little weird. This seems like a good time to go Inferno. Oh my God, am I gonna bomb myself? No, okay, too far away. Get this into the fire so it dies and I can get a laser through. Deck is so weird, man. I really need something that can kill these Venoms. There's nothing in the deck. It's a huge fucking problem, man. Now I've got mutants coming at me, which I have to use Inferno to kill. But then I don't have anything that can take out the Banshees and Venoms properly. Super awkward, man. Super awkward. Nice. If he'd actually managed to move those mutants out of the fire in time, I would have been in trouble, I think. Right, this can go up here because it's a Scorpion tank. And then we should win the game. I don't think this mutant can clear in time. I think we just win here. Once again, the mighty Banshee is impossible to lose to. His deck was super weird, by the way. He had Mutant, Scorpion, Banshee.
Objective complete.
How would I change the deck while keeping Tick and Inferno? Yeah, it has to be missiles. That's the only deck. That's the only unit you can cut, I think. You could cut the Chuggy. You could cut the Chuggy and have the Inferno as your heavy anti-infantry. But that's a little awkward, because then you want to go, like, you open rifles, and then you often want to go straight into Inferno. I think those are your options. Because you have Inferno, the Chuggy doesn't have to be there. So you could cut the Chuggy. But it's either that or the laser if you want to put in a Phantom or Stealth tank. Mammoth gets deleted by Iron Cannon. I think a direct hit from an Iron Cannon doesn't kill a Mammoth tank. It basically does, but I don't think it actually kills it. And I think if you boost out of the way, it's like almost impossible to get a direct hit. Top troopers. How much is 900 hit points, Jeffrey? Like how much is 900 compared to other units? Like what sort of level? Once your Mammoth tank gets Iron Cannon, what are we talking about here? Do you have a Bike Squadron? Do you have a Pitbull? Do you have a Rifle Squad? Like what are we talking about? We have a Moo Mud Pusher. It's a 10-bit Moo though. I should add Moo as an acceptable command though, because it's just such a good sound. 2 shots from Fred/Scorp. Okay. So it's like less than buggy health once it gets hit by the Iron Cannon. I don't like the fact this guy has an air tower. I'm a little worried he's gonna have Orca. That seems like a pretty likely unit to come out here. Guess we'll make an Inferno. Yep, there's the Orca. Yo, thank you, Mug. This ridiculous harvester. Yo, leave Chuggy alone, bro. What the hell? What did Chuggy ever do to you? Rude. So rude. Is this Inferno gonna one-shot this half because of levels? Oh, it does. Holy shit. What a beating. The thing about Tick deck is things like Orca and Shade don't kill the burrowed Tick very quickly. So you can absorb hits with the Tick tank. That's kind of the idea of the deck. Problem is that with just bites take so long to kill something after it bombs the Tick. You're not necessarily going to kill an Orca or a Shade or whatever after it bombs your Tick tank. If you just have bites.
You are victorious. 3, 2, 1. New objective.
Raging Tron. Every time I see this guy, I think of Tron from MTG, which is like a modern deck where you try and get 3 lands that once you have them all, they produce a ridiculous amount of mana. And then you just play like giant colorless cards with your insane amount of mana. It's not a very interesting deck in my opinion.
Laser squad, powder ready to lasers, no command. Militia here. Laser squad, ready for what's needed. Laser squad, lasers.
Shock troopers. Or Chuggy. Shouldn't really be trading off my lasers actually in this matchup, because when I have the Chuggy, I want the lasers still alive. He's really trying to stall. He does seem to be trying to stall. That's true. MLRS. Okay, well we have an Inferno for that. So I think Chuggy actually kind of beats MLRS. Because it's actually really hard to kill the Chuggy with the MLRS. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. MLRS, like, very, very good counter to Tick Tank though. One of the best counters to Tick Tank. So Tick Tank is not going to be great here. I'm kind of relying on the... I'm going to have to rely on the Inferno. MSV, that means he definitely has Slingshot as well. If he has an MSV, we need to pressure, because once he gets the whole thing set up, it's going to get really awkward for us. We want to put a lot of pressure on now. Try and shut down the combo. Yeah, there's this thing. Oh shit, for some reason I thought my Chuggy was far enough away. Obviously not. Goddamn Fortress decks, man. Such nonsense. Shit, oh my god. I thought the bikes were far enough away as well. Really cocking this one up.
Inferno bomber reporting. With a smile. Let's burn it to the side. Moving and grooving. Inferno. The weeds up. Bring it on, everybody. Grease up.
Alright, I think we got him now. This is why GDI can't have nice things. Because if you make the units too good, then as soon as you MSV boost them, they're completely unbeatable. I like that he's called Raging Tron, by the way, which is a deck about assembling a combination of cards. Like, it's about assembling a combination of lands, so then your deck becomes fully unbeatable. That's basically what he's doing in Rivals as well. He's playing a Fortress deck where if he assembles all the pieces, his deck's just like fully unbeatable.
3, 2, 1. New objective received.
I feel like it's gonna play Scavengers, is that accurate? Fanatics. Okay, aggressive.
Militia here. Advancing. We're ready to take position. What's needed?
Unit ready.
Copy. Destroy the unbelievers will serve. Ready to serve. Nod, kill the unbelievers will serve. Kill the unbelievers. Militia, Nod will.
Unit offline.
I go fast Chuggy against the Scavengers.
We rock for
Could be pretty broke, given he's made like 3 or 4 Fanatics. Even if you count the fact he's getting 10 from them.
Unit ready. Nuclear weapon launched. Unit offline.
Giga Cannon? We have Inferno for Giga. This is, I assume, why the Inferno is in the deck. Because of all these like nonsense units that Tick really struggles with that you suddenly need an Inferno for. I like having Inferno in my deck quite a lot, because there's almost nothing that you just lose to when you have Inferno. Like, there's very few things that you just auto lose to if you have an Inferno in your deck.
I make Giga. I make stuff in front of Giga. I use Oksana. I'm pro play.
That's exactly what he's doing! Make Giga, put stuff in front of Giga, boost it. Easy, easy. Alright, GG.
Mission accomplished. 3, 2, 1. New objective available. Building online.
And we're up against MG. Let's go, man.
Unit ready.
Give him a little
Come
greeting.
join us.
We're ready to serve.
What's MG up to?
GDI. Destroy the GDI.
Have I been
Oh,
manipulated?
2 Harvesters?
This is a ratings disaster. Motivate the masses.
Be a rifleman as well.
That's one for the propaganda reel.
Unit ready.
Let's go. Destroy port. What's needed?
I wonder what he's going to tech switch into. Probably chemical buggy if he's a Nod player.
That was regrettable.
What's militia here?
Unit ready.
I'll just make a chemical buggy. Oh, cat ship. I did not see cat ship coming. That is shocking.
Have I been manipulated?
We don't have a great answer to cat ship, really. I guess we have to use bikes for it. We have to use bikes for pretty much all of our anti-air duties in this deck. Which is actually really unfortunate, because cat ship kind of beats bikes surprisingly well. Like, because it charges up and then blows them up. And it's pretty hard to dodge it now. You have to like retreat as they're charging up like this. Yeah, it takes ages to kill a cat ship with bikes. Alright, nailed it. Holy shit, this Banshee, man. This Banshee's wrecking me. Banshee insane.
Good welcome, citizens. Certainly newsworthy. Control and inspire. Kane will be disappointed.
Kane would be disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
Time for you to sign off.
Hey, got him.
Objective complete. Control.
Now longer.
3, 2, 1. New mission received.
What do you think the longer refers to?
Building online. Unit ready.
I should probably learn to do like the old dancing better.
Unit ready.
It is pretty strong move. I actually like just get so tired of this opening laser versus dog nonsense. I don't even know if you really want to engage the dogs. I think you don't. I think the dog player wants to engage. Because the dogs become pretty bad once both players switch to War Factory. I think the lasers are still pretty useful. Like once both players switch into War Factory, the lasers are still pretty good. So I think I actually need to stop engaging the dogs as much. Just try and keep my lasers around. Because these dogs aren't going to do anything. Yeah, like he's now fighting because the dogs are like pretty worthless. I don't want to put clouds on both these tiles, so I'm like trying to avoid doing that here. Hope he hasn't got Predator. Oh, he has got Predator, that's annoying. Predator kind of beats me first missile. I'm going to try and stall, try and get to the Inferno. Predator actually just seems like one of the best units possible against this deck, because it's good against Tick Tank and Chuggy. And there's a slingshot for some reason. Why has he got a slingshot? What the hell? Nice sling, my dude. Like, seriously. Great choice. Hopefully I can kill this shop in time, unfortunately. And maybe I should have boosted the laser to kill the sling instead. That might have been quicker. I could have just blocked with the bikes as well. Kind of fucked it up in a lot of ways. But once the tick is burrowed, it's pretty good against Predator tank. So if we get the ticks in position, I don't know what kind of air he has. I guess we'll find out. Get another tick tank and bring it in. I should probably send it up here actually if I get the chance. That's probably better. Talon? Talon's not really a problem.
Unit offline. Unit ready.
I'm just gonna try and flip. Oh, definitely not gonna get that. Alright, just straightforward missile. Can't really fight Predator tank. We can go Inferno, I guess. That's why Inferno's in the deck, right? So you don't just lose to Predator tank. This actually seems like a pretty good matchup for us, because he doesn't have the heavy air that we're weak to, he just has Talon. And the Inferno is in the deck to beat Predator tank, which he has, so... Well, like, that's one of the main things we want to beat with Inferno. So yeah, it looks like it's a pretty decent matchup for me. His Talons are slightly annoying. But once we get ticks on like every pad, what's he gonna do? You can't even flip when there's a tick on every pad. You have to kill one of the ticks to get the missile. I'm just gonna block here, and then it should be easy. Oh, I missed the block, really. But he's never winning any of these pads, right? Like the tick wins all of these pads. Even Jump Jet struggles with tick. So yeah, this seems like a pretty straightforward win now that we have tick tanks everywhere. Yep. Cool.
You are victorious. 3, 2, 1. New objective available.
Elizora.
Building online. Unit ready.
Rifle versus rifle opening.
Taking position.
A very standard start. Is he going to try and 2v1 me? Looks like it.
Destroy the chip. What's needed?
I'll go third rifle. I don't know if that's correct though. Against Jade as well. Jade doesn't really mean that much. It could mean that he has Chuggy or Chems. Unlikely he has Chems. I think if he had Chems, he would have gone Chems third unit. He might have Chuggy. If he has Chuggy, then we just want to go Chuggy ourselves. Just make fights. Fights and Chuggy. Oh, I'm watching a good guy. I'm gonna actually just go Chuggy now because I messed up. I messed up down here, so I'm gonna lose this fight, so I need a Chuggy to win it. I'm gonna get some bites. Alright, now we're gonna win the missile. Oh, whoa, oh, what the hell? Jade gives you outs! What the fuck was that? What the hell? That was very unexpected.
This missile myself. Missile designing.
Good job, Tommy. Alright, we still got that. I definitely was not expecting a random missile. That was very unexpected. Alright, let's get the tick tank. Let's get the tick tank. Giga? Oh no. Well, we have the mighty Inferno to save us. Just run away, actually. I don't want to stand there against Laser and Giga. That seems pretty loose. Go bomb the Giga. Pew! Easy claps. Move the tick up as well. Oh, he does have Chuggy. Interesting. He didn't make the Chuggy in the first missile, right? I guess because he used Jade. Try and give him out. Makes sense. I think that's game over. There's 5 blocks. And we just win. Let's go!
Enemy base destroyed. Battlefield control.
I really like playing against this guy.
3, 2, 1. New objective received.
For the crystals.
Building online. Unit ready. Position.
Chuggy Laser Bike is a good combo that makes any deck decent. That is true. And we have a tank as well. Tanks are always good. It's pretty hard for tanks to just be like a bad unit. And then we have Inferno, which gives us outs, right? Like Inferno gives you so many outs. It's really hard to have anything that you just auto lose to if you have Inferno in your deck. Like the hardest thing for us to beat is heavy air, and it isn't that common, honestly, at the moment. I'd say like Inferno and Orca are probably the most common. If I Chuggy, I'm just gonna Chuggy. I think he was talking to Jeffrey, Tommy. I think he just used the wrong name. I'm gonna go Laser. Oh, he has Venom. He went Venom against the Chuggy as well. That's kind of surreal. I guess he assumed I was gonna go Laser next. I almost just went Bites next, so that would have been pretty awkward for him. Maybe he was going Venom to fight my rifles before I went Chuggy. That's also possible. Looks like I'm gonna win the missile here. He isn't even on his backpack. Getting pretty heavily pop-capped now. Struggling a little bit. I think we still get it. Yeah, nice. Kinda close. Mostly because we just had 4 one-man squads. Get a tick tank and try and position it. I'm guessing he'll have some kind of anti-vehicle air. He has Venom in his deck. And the fact he went Venom this quickly as well. Maybe it's Inferno? It's taking ages, whatever it is. Oh, it's his own tick tanks. Okay. well, being the first to burrow your tick tank is a pretty massive advantage in the tick tank mirror. So I'm feeling pretty good about my chances here. Gotta shoot this while it's unburrowed. Hoggers. I feel like we're massively far ahead right now. It's gonna take something pretty spectacular to lose this game. Kinda looks like we just got it locked up. The boost is gonna make it die. Yep. Without the boost, it wouldn't have died to those 3 missiles. Alright, there we have it. 10-0 with the deck. I do actually quite like the deck. I think tick tank is like borderline OP. Well, when it's burrowed anyway, it's OP. Obviously, when it's moving, it's not that good, but it does still have a raider. When it's burrowed, it's insane. Chuggy is obviously nuts. Bike is the best unit in the game. Laser is a great combo with Chuggy. Chuggy is a good combo with Tick Tank. Like, the first 5 units are pretty standard in a lot of decks, and they're pretty good. The Inferno is obviously also a really powerful unit, and it gives you outs to things that normally beat Tick Tank. The problem is that you really don't have a good anti-air unit. I don't know how you fit one in. I think you'd have to either do like this, and then use this as your heavy anti-infantry, which is a bit awkward. Or you could do this, and then play like an Alicia style deck. But I think if you're going to do this, it makes more sense to have Scorpion instead of Tick, because the deck is more fluid and mobile then. But yeah, I think the deck's pretty decent. I quite like it. It does have a little gap in heavy air, but I think heavy air is probably a good, like one of the best places to have a gap right now, because it's really only Inferno that sees a lot of play. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the Tick Tank Chuggy Inferno deck, and I will see you all next time.